Hello and welcome again to Talkin Baws episode 4. Who thought we'd have got this far, Paul?
Done well.
As you think, all know me, I'm Daisy, this is Paul, and we're kind of privileged tonight to have two ex-pros. Well, we've seen ex-pros here, they're still professionals, we'll just not tell you what game they're in now. And we have John and Paul, John Workman and Paul McQuilkin. We're going to ask you for some funny things, right, to start off with. Paul's got a few things here, he's done his history on you, so I don't think he's going to get away with anything here. All good history, of course, all good history. But we can maybe start with Paul.
Aye, we'll go with Paul. His career seemed to have dropped faster than a cannonball coming off the Mitchell Hall flat. Started junior, Paul, was that right?
I started, well, as I said there, I was just speaking beforehand there about the dynamo a way back.
Oh, aye.
I was trying to remember the day, but as you know, you get older, it's fucking hard work to remember, you know what I mean? All I remember is I had black hair. But thanks to Russell, I've still got black hair. Russell Cowie, we fog hair, right? But I started way back, Castmilk Cross and the Dynamo, and then Knightswood 21s, moved on to Cumbernauld was my first junior side. We John Conlon at the monk.
Aye, John.
Ronnie Patterson.
I played under John myself.
Aye, so it was a good laugh. I was a young boy getting up, and then done alright, you know, and John Richardson took me to Kilsyth, where I used to be a centre forward, and I used to have a bit of pace.
Yeah, so I remember you playing, so I don't know about that.
Done not bad at Kilsyth. I know, mate, it's fucking... but you feel like you go back, that's it, you know. Kilsyth had a good season there, scored a few goals and won the league, and Dumbarton came calling and, you know, just gave me a year's deal.
Played really well with him.
I done well the first year I done well. And then
your name kept coming up the video printer, so you must have been doing well.
Who was the manager there?
It was Paul Martin. Paul Martin, experienced partner. We took a few junior boys, so it was it was a big step, you know, going through that up. But the fitness levels now, you always get, the fitter you get, the better you earn, blah blah blah. Done alright, but we ended up getting relegated that year. It was a tough league, Thistle and that were in it. Morton, Gretna, when they were going up the leagues and all that. But Jeremy Cabe came in, the manager, gave me another year. I stayed about 2.5 years there, and then I left.
Did you find the difference between the junior and the Dumbarton? Was it just fitness, or was it?
I think the higher you go up, it's more the fitness, and you know, the more serious it gets. You know what I mean? Cause
I was going to say the general attitude.
It's a general attitude, but the more, you know, the higher you go up and all, but you realise there's a lot of egos kicking about. You know what I mean? In that level. I wouldn't slag anybody.
It's got a bit starry-eyed some games.
You know what I mean? It's like, and they all stab each other in the back, you know what I mean? Fucking, make sure, you know what I mean? Make sure they're playing and blah blah blah, whereas you can do it to your level now and it's the odd guy that's not happy, but it's more,
it's honest.
You know what I mean? It's honesty, you know what I mean? And that's how I ended up chucking the kind of juniors at the end there. I was 33 and I had a wee boy, and I was up fucking like December, January, fucking running around Petersall Park. Sorry for swearing.
You're alright.
Running around Petersall Park, and then I just got to that stage I wasn't enjoying training, and I went to myself, you know what, I've had enough now. And that's when I came back down the road to Dynamo, and last year was great year to come back. Great year to come back, and I say, I know all the boys, we're all Castmilk boys.
When you were at Dumbarton, was there any of the players who were known to anything better?
Don't think who was there at the time.
Experienced squad.
The boy Ian Russell was there. He's at Queen of the South now. He was me and him kind of up front. But you know, he was always a great trainer. He wanted it. You know what I mean? And he's kicked on a bit. You know what I mean? I was never really. You know, my attitude was kind of I'm up where I'm up. I never really took it serious. Whereas I look back now, I went, I should have. But I just went, I'm up where I'm at, and you know, I just took it as it came, sort of thing, and I never really went off. I could get a good chance of doing something, but that was just the way I'm at. That's the way I'm with everything.
You'd be surprised the amount of boys that actually are quite, although they're good players, they're quite happy to reach a certain don't quite join us here. They don't realise that they can.
I mean, I didn't even
stagnate.
If they want to put on a wee bit, and I, for a fact, which we'll maybe talk about later on, Bob McCulley. Bob was one of my coaches at Partick. And to this day, well, you're fucking disgrace, you should have been up there. But can I go there and thinking, I'm doing alright and happy with it all, mate?
I think a lot of it maybe as well is who you surround yourself with when you get to the club. So a lot of people, even it's your pals and that, there's a lot of things going into it.
Yeah, some of the stories about
No, I wasn't going to say, not even just the clubs. Like being a Cashmore boy, always staying Cashmore, you're still cutting about your Cashmore pals. And I'm not going to say 3/4. More than that, I've got little or no interest in football. So when it comes to going out and about and wanting to abuse yourself and go to parties and day hangs when you know you're maybe playing the next day, you're just gone, because they're not saying, no, we've all got football the next day. You're the only one that's maybe got something, and you're easily, I want to go be with my mates. Therefore, back to what we're talking about with your attitude a wee bit at times.
Well, that's it. For about 10 years I stayed, I've never out on a Friday, you know what I mean? Never did
I don't remember that.
Never. And you know, and I realised when I finished, I thought I've got a bit of social life back now, you know what I mean? A bit
one memory I've got with you.
A bit of time for yourself.
it's a saying, that's how you enjoy the amateur level, you know what I mean?
I've got one memory of Paul at Celtic Park, and he was running right through on Arthur Borix, and I didn't know where to sit up and cheer or what. He was like,
on the park.
just be lucky Biggie saved it, but I was like, I could have sworn it.
He did save it, I didn't get a corner for it.
Aye, that's right, aye.
Well, after your Dumbarton days, you back to junior with Rob Roy.
Aye, Rob Roy, and I really enjoyed Rob Roy, it was good.
I
I came back, and as I say, when I came back, I was carrying a bit of injury. I fractured my cheekbone and my face and that, and that's how I kind of left Dumbarton. And a new manager came in that, I says, listen, and I ended up, when I went to Rob Roy for 6 months, I went in January for the end of the season I played up front, but then the following season I dropped back into the midfield, which, you know, looking back now, I feel more comfortable. You know what I mean? And I think to myself, I wish I played midfield when I was younger, you know what I mean? But again,
pick up a game of noise, you're going to
you see the
other
things, and I had a right good couple of years at Rob Roy playing midfield, and then I got moved to Port, and then I enjoyed that too, but Port was going through a wee bit of a hard time. And then I went Pearsall, and as I say, I knew in my head I was kind of like that. I feel it was kind of that, you know what I mean?
What made you go to Rob Roy? Was there somebody there you knew? Or
I knew John Richardson, the manager, and John Mitchell. He's a hit in Mitchell Scythe, and they knew me well, and they always kept it.
Did you go to Paul after that?
He didn't. He took a year and a bit out, and then it didn't really work out for the manager at Paul. Was Willie Irvine.
His wife was paying all the wages.
It was a bit of a
It's better leaving that than having woman money. I could have a whole nother programme that one.
Who's your wife, Hazel?
I don't know if you remember, Willie, years ago, Willie was a prison officer, and years ago they taken a hostage at, I think it was Shorts, and it was Willie that had cooked up, he was cooked up in prison.
Maybe that's what we said then, because he was a bit of a gentleman, but then John came in.
You realise he'd had so much in common with half of them.
And then John came into Port and that, and blah blah blah. We always kind of worked together. He's not a bad guy. He's a good guy. But I say now Pearsall, good season, but as I say, I knew I was kind of.
Woman and Wayne's happens to the best.
Three-man game, no, you know what I mean. My head wasn't really 2 nights a week, and then a Saturday. It was a part-time job, you know what I mean? It's free, it's a commitment.
Especially at that age.
And you're grafting yourself during the day, you're like that. 5, and I was going up to Pearsall at 6, and not getting into 9. 2 days a week. I'm not seeing the guys in his kit, so I was like, I knew it.
That wee Patterson and Scott was up there.
Aye, they were up there, Wally and Scott, aye. They were up there. They still speak to them to this day and all, they're good together.
I think Scott does it, doesn't he?
He runs his wee boys team, Garn Cup now. He helps his wee boy out now.
Did he end up with Glen Cairn round about a Monk's time and on after the Monk, wasn't he?
Aye.
I think Monk's a wee bit before them, because the Monk left.
That's what I'm saying, after the Monk.
Went to Mary Hill, Monk gave him money, and fucking the first time we John had ever had money. He was brilliant at building teams for juveniles and taking them through. Did a great record.
Because he ended up back at Knights with Juvies, did he?
Aye, and he's sitting anyway to Ashfield.
I was at Nashville. I played for John up Nashfield, and only a couple of games, but I don't blame him for getting ready. I turned up one time, still steaming for the night of 4, and he's like, "You need a drink?" I was like, "No.
Take one.
Parked 2 in the net, didn't I? Pure like that, boom, parked him in. So he John's like, "Listen, big man, I think you don't need to say anything, John. I think that was enough for me." But I enjoyed playing under John. Talk about John, you've got to be yourself, big man, is there? Had a checkered history, is there no?
I've been a bit.
And I'm not talking about the crazy
I'm a bit.
Aye.
Up No, I mean, as I say, that's how I can relate to a lot of things that Paul's done.
Well, you were picked up right from school and all, weren't you?
Well, more or less, I played with Thistle youth team. It was starting the youth team, went away with the youth team, done this, done that. But again, you don't really appreciate what you've kind of got. And then because you're indoctrinated into that, you think, come here. And sometimes there's not about self-doubt, but there's some you don't think you're as good as you are. And
you're looking around about you and you're going...
And then you get in a kind of comfort zone thinking, fuck, I'm accepted here. And you kind of settle for maybe... I mean, as we were talking earlier, I signed a contract at 16, but it wasn't dated, which technically is illegal.
Aye.
But obviously, all three guys that were involved are probably fucking deep.
Step ladder stamped.
And so they're working for the SFU at Hampden, you can bleep that one out.
Russian name.
All David Moyes took the drum chat under 18s that were established decent side, and most of the Thistle youth team played with him, and we went up and trained with Thistle on a Wednesday night instead of a drum shuttle training if you want.
Who was the manager of Thistle when you were there?
He started with, believe it or not, was a guy called John Cormack. He ended up playing with Liverpool.
I was thinking Cowboy.
19. I played with Cowboy or not. I played with him all. John McCoy played with Liverpool. And by the time I actually, believe it or not, by the time I actually came to sign the contract, he was sacked. And it was Benny Rooney and Mick Jackson. Peter Cormack, sorry.
You threw me there, Mark. I'm doing all this homework. You came up with different names.
Listen, we were talking about memories. And I'm getting him a couple of years. I don't even fucking know who half my daughters are. He signed me, but he was, unfortunately, I had a lot of time for him. I thought he was a great football guy, but he wasn't on the job at the time. Because me, Mono, and that was there when I was in the youth team. Him and Kenny McDowell was the front pair.
Hanson there now?
No, he'd just left. But they were like 12 points clear in the whole first division. They just got relegated. And they sell wee more. And obviously Kenny McDowell up front, his cell kind of blew a gasket a wee bit and his hair started falling out. And next minute they never went up. And they invested that much money going up that then everything was scaled right back, that they weren't full time, blah blah blah. And that started for me.
You had a nickname at the Thistle, didn't you?
Psycho, I believe the shed used to sing. Purely because I started off as a 9-stone left winger, and then ended up playing the full side, a kind of wing back before people called them wing backs. And for all of us half daft, I didn't really know how to tackle. So I used to just crash helmet and steam into cunts.
The right way.
And don't get me wrong, fun enough to talk with Jerry McCabe, because that was my first senior sending off. He went on a tower with a bone tight melt me and I've dropped a barnet right on him.
Can't smoke boy, can't wag, I can't
so
do that to them.
That was but I was obviously playing with the first team because I made my debut I signed pro 17 in the summer and made my debut just before Christmas playing against a guy, he's maybe known Gary McAllister, played with Scotland and again.
Played with Scotland and again,
I was dropping names last.
That was a year Motherwell went up.
We're on the nation's clearly accepted.
And that was the end of that season, was my first senior sending off, and then so the fans obviously latched on to the fact that
funny, Jenny said he's stuck in that, you know what I mean?
Well, obviously I never felt it, but no, but as I say, so that just kind of stuck, the fact, and I think because this we're doing in the first division for some of the heady heights of the Premier League, and the team weren't exactly great to be fair, I think they just seen a young boy full of enthusiasm, basically wanting to help, look, and for a cause, he's out, at least he's out trying.
Good.
And
I
we need to get him a nickname.
Just when you mentioned Johnson there, it was I don't know if you'd have been involved, it was a cup replay at Shawfield, the Clyde.
No.
Oh, wee Johnson ran a Saturday that night, and it was just, I thought it was running about the same time, because it wasn't there much long after that. The lights were out at Clyde that night.
I remember
they abandoned the game,
I might have been a Hampark area, believe it or not, because I remember the night.
The floodlights went out, they were out for about 20 minutes and then they continued the game, but everybody was on the park and all that, so they were kicking a ball about.
Brilliant.
Well, you might have seen me running about with a lighter.
And that'll chasing a greyhound.
How long were you with Thistle?
Pro, I was only there about 7 seasons, if you know what I mean. Obviously, as I say, I was there for kind of 15, 16, but I signed my pro contract when I was like 17, coming up for 18.
Was there any good players went on? Wee Johnson, you've mentioned, McDowell.
Oh, as I say, Kenny's still a kind of parliament in his day, I speak to occasionally.
Yeah, speaks to Wee Johnson, didn't you know?
I know that I know, I don't know.
Find him there, it's that find him.
I think he's Wayne stopped him.
No half for Glasgow, won't he?
A boy Alan didn't a pal of mine for enough to this day. Then he went to Dundee, I think he moved for about 100 grand. We Eddie Gallagher went to Dundee just prior or just after that. For about 150 grand. Big Wurzel come up for Chelsea, big guy John McNaught, God rest him. Who passed away, he was a legend. And he only one teeth, he was a fucking pole. He wanted to call him.
I signed up for Spain, called him one eater.
As I say, those guys all came and went, as I say, because Thistle didn't have a lot of money and they were kind of down in the dumps a wee bit. Ken Bates 1 year.
That's right, aye.
Came and took us, we were full time and everything was cracking, and they brought in the Apple Dumpling gang, Big Derek Johnson.
That's right.
For Chelsea to be the full time coach.
They sent some up in loan, didn't they?
We ended up with Billy Dodds and
Was it wee Dodds?
a boy called Colin West. The two of them scored.
The Rangers.
No,
no,
it was another man. They scored something like, honestly, 148 goals between them for the youth team in Chelsea. And we ended up with the two of them in loan.
Brilliant.
And the wee guy, Colin West, was the guy that stood it. No Dodgy. Dodgy could finish, but Colin West had everything. Wee, low centre of gravity, legs like that, and could finish. Man, he picked up a nasty injury, whereas wee Dodgy just
plodded on.
Oh, criticised him. He wasn't great, but he still keeps. No, he remind me a wee bit of his attitude on Coyle.
Aye.
Because I played one if he was a kid too.
His name came out brilliant.
He didn't come across. Or he was never brilliant. But he was dedicated. He was always fit, and he knew how to finish.
Well, these two brothers and all, and you know to do what they two done. Although they
Tom and Joe.
They did a good career.
I know.
They did a good career. But it's maybe the thing with wee boy does is what Paul was talking about earlier. It was a hunger, and you sometimes find that's not necessarily the best.
Aye, he had an attitude and a commitment to do well.
There's loads of players you see, even in amateurs and juniors, you know, all ability in the world, you know what I mean? But when it comes to a wee bit of graft and a wee...
I've seen a fair few of them myself.
As I say, half the players nowadays, you see them playing on the telly and you're like, he's not the most talented, is he? But it's all about now, it's athletes now, innit? Put their shift in.
It's got to be done right. Eat right, play right.
Probably ability's 10%, innit? You're player with ability, you say that boy could go and do this and do that.
It all went just fitness daft.
Aye, it did.
That's right,
and they would take a big fat guy or a talented wee guy. Do you know what I mean? Because it was all about your physical attributes, being an athlete. And
boys are taking this in out here now, remember, these boys are ex-pros, they've been there, the hurdles.
That's why we're
taking it out, you think about it. You get the heat doing and focus properly.
First time working with sports, seen that and all. Where was it after the Thistle? What did you do then?
I went to St. Now.
It's a bit of travelling.
And you don't believe this, but the season prior to that, we were going to Northern Ireland to play a couple of games for the weekend with Thistle. And I remember going down in the coach, getting into Sonar, and I did remark to somebody and say, fuck playing down here.
Next thing I'm doing here.
And I'll be honest with you, totally mercenary. I'll not mention the sums involved, but I was a free agent. And they offered me a ludicrous amount of money. And I wasn't working at the time, so
you're taking it.
I thought, I'll buy her a motor, buy my ma a house, buy myself a house, or it wasn't that much money. But
buy off a castle milk.
We ended up with 2 caravans and a scooter.
You know, but they basically offered me money that I could not back, no what. And I lasted the whole of 14 weeks, if you're lucky.
It's not bad, travel down there. Was it travel just...
It took him 12 weeks to get down there, so
12 years.
You know what, he was actually only doing a week.
12 years shift for a home game. I left the house at 8 in the morning, get picked up at Victoria Infirmary to go to McDonald's Hotel for 10 o'clock. Bust into Sunna for 12 because he wanted his odd in there son having some tea for a home game. So then I knew odds for that. By the time you then got into the stadium, 3 o'clock kick off, 5 o'clock, time every cut fucks about, you cut the 3 cans of beer. 6 o'clock I get dropped off at Lauders Bar at the Tabby to the meet the aforementioned Dinny and Chick. Bang on 8 o'clock on a Saturday night.
I used to be the way. You used to get, just when I mentioned Ireland there and all, used to players that actually went out to Ireland to play. They trained here 2 nights a week with somebody. They were out to Ireland on Saturday and they were back playing. They're back in the city centre, clicking with some of the boys in Scotland were playing. So they all used to meet up there.
That was the thing. I was with Martin. We were in the 2nd division, man. Fucking in the 3rd division, we were Elgin, Peter Heath.
Very. No. I'm just saying because there's a few crackers with that played and all.
I swear, and some of the games when you're, games cancelled, you're up during the week.
Only time I've seen somebody places his own an old woman's tea
Aye,
towel on it,
aye,
and he's got his
exactly.
details on. I didn't know that place existed.
It's like a set of traffic lights and then a sign for the end of the world, man. Then a
Aye.
football pitch.
Right.
Like that. Yeah.
You know, it's not as bad when you see London 700 mile that way.
We're going to have a wee break now and then we'll come back. We'll get a wee shot of the sponsors up and the adverts and we'll get the makeup lady in to have a go big worky. Okay, see you when we come back.
Get a hammer.
Good job. Hello and welcome back again. I'm sure you'll be glad to see these sponsors there, and we could help them out with Arrow taxis and the healthy living as well. Something you should insure, so you should really think about it. We keep stressing that again for teams out there. And your insurance
Healthy
policies
living.
right in and out.
His wife's got him insured to the hilt.
Aye, aye.
Doesn't think she'll need it right enough.
That's how she gives me money for drink.
I don't think it's ever been in that far. But no, we'll go ahead. Just on that note, with John finishing his beer off there, we've got the rule of the week. It's not so much a rule of the week, it's something that's been brought to our attention. It's something that's never really gone to stop, and it's drinking at the side of the park. You know this is a major bugbear with most managers and every referee. It's not to be tolerated. No drinking at the side of the park has always been the rule in amateur football. Again, biggest majority is all play football on public parks, so the public could walk in there with a carry out and have a beer, be associated with your team, cause hassle, and it's your team that suffers. People do turn a blind eye at it, but there's only one set of people that don't turn a blind eye at, and that's Scotland's finest. As you know, and I'm sure you're aware, there's no drinking in public in the street, and if they see it, I'm sure they will approach us and give you a nice wee yellow slip that you'll need to go down and pay a fine. Drinking at the side of the park's always been tolerated for managers and stuff. We turn a blind eye at, turn a blind eye at. But if you're going to do it in a public park, stay out of the way, make sure you're in an area where the police can't see you, basically. And hopefully get away with it. But again, if you do drink at the side of the park, please, the abuse, once it's dead easy to get abused somebody when you've got a drink in you, and it's dead easy to go and start poking managers and players when you've got a drink in you, go and do this, do that. Step right away for the park, stay away for the sidelines, and if do yourself a favour, don't drink during the game, go for a pint with the team after it, get a bit of team bonding. That's the rule of the week. It's not so much a rule of the week as Alec usually gives us. But again, we'll just have a wee short break and then we'll come back with some more ex-pro anecdotes and stuff like that. So we'll see you after the break.
Right, welcome back, and we're going to come into the last part of the show tonight, going back to the two lads. Worky, we got to you just finishing at Stranraer and you were getting yourself to Stirling after that. We go back junior for a while.
I went out with juniors, time East Kilbride juniors. Believe it or not, through a pal of mine, and he came and got me the house. I'd already drank 4 cans of beer. And he came up to Sean Kennedy came up to tell us a pair of boots. And he went, we're going to play Devil a friendly, he'd signed with him. Right. And I went, fuck, waste your time going to be doing that. And he turned around and went, it's a Wednesday night, what you doing? I went, nothing. Well, fucking get a pair of boots, fucking one down. So a friendly pre-season kind of. And I went down, the guy went, any chance of playing? So I played it, I scored 3 for left back.
Come on again.
And he kind of went, you're no bad. I went, cheers.
No bad.
I went away, and obviously Shug must have thought I'm in who I was again. He obviously didn't know that I'd played the game a wee bit. And I went up and asked me to come up on the Saturday. I maybe feel like Clyde 2-0 and I scored the 2 of them.
Didn't recognise you because down with your mullet, that's what it was.
I think that's what it was. I think maybe he'd actually just give me a short back sign. And he'll be really wanting to sign you. I mean, you go obviously back to check about journalism, know what I mean? But I ended up I signed there and I had 4 great seasons there. The first season we won the league, and which they were having a wee club and being East Kilbride, you start to get a wee bit of, as the year went on, you're winning games, you generate a wee bit of interest, and them having a wee local paper as well. You know what I mean? So actually a right good enjoyable 3 or 4 years, and although you still take it serious, junior game still is serious, but because I'd been senior so long, kind of thing that it was as serious as senior to me. It was a bit more relaxed and I could enjoy it a bit
The
more.
junior game's still got the old, you know, the old school presidents and the vice presidents and all that.
Oh, aye.
You know, that's they hang on to that. That's their
That's
their thing.
That's
You
their
know what I
wee
mean?
bit.
But it's slowly but surely.
Aye.
I know that's
We just
not
touched
a
on that
nice thing
last
to
week
say,
as
but
well,
obviously
aye.
they're getting older.
Mhm.
You know, eventually I think the junior game's going to keep up with
Aye,
change
well,
and all. You know what I mean? Because these guys are, you know, in the money side of it and all. There's not a lot of money. I mean, I've seen boys, not average players, but boys that you go, I know that, and they're getting 120 quid a week.
Aye.
Yeah, some teams, you know what I mean, and then when it comes to the nitty gritty Christmas time and they're not doing too well, they're down in tools. You go, I want to be fair, man. This is, and that's how clubs struggle, man. You know what I mean?
Aye.
And when you start paying people, man, it becomes a whole different ballgame.
But there is a thing with some junior clubs. Obviously, you don't get crowds, so you're no paying. You're no paying for it. But your crowds. Nowadays, you feel like a junior club, a social club now.
None.
So the money's where the money's coming from. The
You know what happened at the Bains?
Aye,
Aye.
aye.
But it used to
Go
be,
right,
that love of the games.
Aye.
It used to be like a love of the game you play. And when I remember when I was just like 19, 20, and the juniors was cracking, Talkin and all that, and even Bember, cracking teams.
Go to junior games
And I was
myself.
watching them and Dougie
Love that.
Fontana. I don't know if you remember Dougie Fontana. I remember watching him playing, and he was a right in the tackles.
Are you hard to crunch?
He was a man.
Aye.
I remember him being a big man, and I was a wee boy looking at him like, Jesus Christ. Now it's all kind of young guys, and you know what it's like with the white boots and
They're
all
not
that,
wanting
and
to
the hair and all that, and they don't want to. But
Funny enough, you say that. I was up Castlemilk the other day, and there was a guy nearly 40 running about in my dog park with white boots on.
Aye.
That was you.
Me.
So when
that's
the
aye.
red ones on.
What do you mean old? I still had black hair, you know what I mean? Russell Cowie.
That takes us to where the Bayfries are now, the Dynamo. And we've got a tweet here all the way from Brussels. It's an Alec Dynamo
Van Damme.
McDowell. Alec Dynamo McDowell sent in a question for Worky. And I want to know, Worky, why are Castlemilk so good?
Alec McDowell Van Damme there for Brussels.
Can't quite put my finger on it. But I believe, to a degree, that obviously a great deal of women on at Dynamo before I came, I don't know, because I never really actually went down and watched a lot. Sunday was my day for going out and drinking with my mates. I didn't go much lunch if I were in. But James Toner, who was my pal, took them.
Took the team around.
And asked me to come down and give him a wee horn because things were going a bit pear-shaped, but he was getting new players in. And I went, no, I'm actually doing nothing. Football-wise, I went and I'm getting fed up. Having 3 daughters doesn't exactly... I love my daughters, and you spend time with your kids, but when you're brought up in a football environment your entire life,
You need it.
you need
It's a
football.
land that's there, innit?
I think
And I
it's,
went give a wee horn.
even likes that big Wally Hewitt, you know what I mean, who does, it's his, he loves it, it's his life, you know what I
passion
mean?
in it.
You see him, how much it means to him, you know what I mean? And I think it's keeping a nucleus of 7 to 8 players every year, and Dynamo never seem to change, you know what I mean? They're the last, I mean, it's always, even when I'm talking back, you know, when I was playing with Big Willie was there, and Big Willie's still there, you know what I mean? And they've always kept a nucleus now, Carney.
I was going to say I've been playing with Big Willie since I was a wee boy.
Craig Kelly, that, you know what I mean? And,
Oh,
I mean,
well,
I think that's how,
mine.
I think the consistency of keeping a good team together,
Believe it or not,
and then adding, you know, that's what I
that's
think.
what I was going to say, because
think that's
obviously
what
there was
it's
new
like,
players coming in, but what was already there, which some of the boys I say I didn't know,
I mean,
but there was
they're doing
half
well.
a dozen there. Archie Bryce, Big Willie,
I mean, they're doing well.
two
People
they
want
got
to
the
come
back.
play for you if you're doing well. Like, some other players will go,
They guys were all there.
decent.
A couple of decent players added to it, and
You're
all of a
finding
sudden
that-
night for the off, they guys off for Desi, you were the goalie.
Aye, I know, I know.
They
So
guys
you've always
off.
got to Velbeat like
They
somewhere.
guys off fitted in.
Cheers, mate.
No look, without a lot of work for me,
Aye.
because
There is a
I'm
few
not
guys there that
And
could,
picking up for what
things
Paul,
fitted in.
picking up for what Paul says there, when a team's being successful and it's starting to generate it, you're getting people now coming in. I mean, you got the Dynamo games, they've got 8 players on the bench. How are you meant to keep the 8 boys happy? So it's a hard position to be in now when
Now,
you're
for
running a
last
team.
year, I
To
mean, for
keep the
last
boys
year,
happy, keep them interested.
the last year you're talking the starting 11. You know, really there's only really been one kind of change, and it's the forward line. Wee Bobby Hughes has come in, you know what I mean? And
Bobby Bangerman, they'll
Wee
call him.
Bobby, you know, he's come in
Bangerman,
and
they'll
been
call him.
different class, but again, there's still, you know, Kearney's still there, wee Keno's went up for,
Aye.
wee Danny Simpson's away now, but so you're keeping the same team for last year. We won the league and won the cup and that, and no far away in the Scottish, but Cran Hall, as I say, is Cran Hall, you know what I mean? With
Aye.
you've
So
got
they've
a
always
few
been
goals
there
in,
and
but
there,
listen,
but
you've still got to try and beat them.
Oh, aye.
But the Dynamo, as I say, we've always kept the same sort of team, and even when I wasn't playing with them, it was always the same boys. So I think that's partial to their success.
I've been involved with the league now 5 years, and the consistency's been unbelievable. I think first year you won the league, second year us and yous went to playoffs.
That was a mental game up, Paul.
Well,
That was a crack
Was that the
game.
one up in Shuttleton?
I was the one who brought you in linesman.
Shuttleton. I was at that game. I was at that game. Big Willie scored.
Big Jim Dawkins.
Big Willie
Willie
scored.
scored.
Big Willie. Big
Willie
Willie.
You got a goal chopped off.
Aye, the last minute.
That's right.
See, that night was remarkable. I don't know if you ever get a season like that, because both teams went through the full league campaign, never get beaten.
Look at the
That's true,
crowd.
aye.
Look
Aye,
at the
great
crowd.
crowd was
crowds and everything.
unbelievable,
Aye,
wasn't it?
I'll talk about your supporters in a
Yeah,
minute.
there was no drinking at the side.
See, go even further. I'm sure I could be wrong here. The only points we got was the 2 draws
Aye,
against
we
you,
did it twice
and
against
vice versa.
us, aye, that's right. It was a remarkable season that year, and probably going to struggle to get a season like that again, if I'm being honest. But the year after that, he's finished second.
Aye,
Kind of
see,
mucked
aye.
up a wee bit that year with teams pulling out.
Aye,
the
and
big
you got a wee
effect,
bit.
the big effect in the league. The year after that, he's come back. He's a cracking tussle with the treble too. He's won that. This year, he's a 8 for 8 already. So the consistency is
Aye,
there
it's
for
there,
everybody
it's
to
there.
see. The other thing we're going to talk about is you can't fail to miss him. We played in a couple of finals against you. Obviously, that league play after the fans.
Well,
Very, very passionate. You see, they get a lift out of the team, can't you?
But see, like we were talking about, Paul, when you're obviously you're wanting to have a good football team first and foremost. But see, like we're talking about a wee while ago about East Kilbride. My first season there being a lot of them buses left to go to Ibrox and Parkgate, but you're the wee local team. So if you're doing well indirectly, obviously, people's word. Well, the Dynamo doing well.
We went up to
Slowly's
Penn-
attracted
yeah,
people.
you know what I mean?
Then
and what I noticed is that there's boys that were up in the bus that playing with Glenwood and that, and playing with different teams
And they're
that have
coming
come
to
up,
watch
you
it.
know, obviously through Facebook and that, and they're up for the day and meet a day, you know what I mean, up to support the boys, and you know, there's weeks in advance like that, you got my Dino game, and it's good to see, you know what I mean, it's good to see.
Turning out the hardest job in a
You know
park
what I
is
mean?
crowd control.
You know what I mean? Yeah, it's good to see.
But that's what I'm saying. They go at the beginning.
Aye.
We're turning
You'll
this into
get
the
people-
Dynamo show here,
Well,
Paul.
but
Well,
the
it's a good
beginning.
job, Alex and Brussels, because this would be a soft porn scene for him.
In the beginning, you would
Say
get
that.
people on a summer's day going down just with a couple of cans to sit in Tubby Hall and watch whoever's playing.
Aye.
Now people are consciously, when's the Dynamo
When's the
playing? We
Dynamo?
put a notice up in the pub every Friday to let them know. But because you're doing well, and not necessarily, I think it was a season we didn't win anything. I think the Gantry won just about every. But we still would not a bad side, but we're still. But so you're attracting a bit of interest, and you're attracting interest with Baines. But I say, Wayne's boys want to come and play football then soon. They've maybe left 16s or 18s and go, well, the time
Stuck in
there's
that void.
somewhere to kind of go that
Aye.
if they've not been picked up with however the system
We
works out
touched
there,
on that
I
last
don't know
time.
anything about.
There's that 21-year-old rule, so there's a void now for boys that are breaking away from
But
that.
they can play, you can play an under 21 year old as long as you don't sign with an under 21 team. But if some of these boys aren't part of an under 21 set up, Sean Harvey, the first year I was here, was only 18 or 19, if my memory serves me correct.
He was up training now with us when
But he
was
didn't play with
12-year-olds.
anybody except the Dynamo.
You've a wee boy in the middle part of Newis, his name was
Dawson.
Dawson.
Aye, crack.
Well, he's a young lad.
I say,
isn't he?
he could step on. I say to him,
Definitely.
easily step on. There's a couple of boys in there that I mean,
There's no
I've-
at the peak.
you know, I
Never
see a wee
near
bit
the
of
peak yet. Never near the peak.
I say Aaron
Playing
Dawson when I was
brilliant.
his age, because all his pals are playing, and I played with Port juveniles, and it was all my mates. There's 5 years, and I went to Knightswood, and I went, that's with rivals, and what you doing going there? And I went, well, they want me, and I want a wee change. And I had a cracking season. I kicked on for them, you know what I mean? But I'm not saying Dawson to leave, but if he ever wanted, he's got to have a wee bit of, you know, career about him and just.
No,
But he's a cracking wee
himself.
player.
Derek, I was willing to let Dawson just play away and let him fit in and blah blah blah. And me and Bevo McCulley have actively spoke about him regarding. It reminds me a bit of Bobby Russell when Bobby Russell was
That's what
younger.
I'm saying. As
He's
I
got
said
that
about the
sulky-
junior game, his
sulky
boys
bit.
picking up 60,
He's
70, 80
he's
quid a
better
week.
than what I've seen.
You know,
Aye.
who are they?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
He's
We're
better
turning
than-
this-
he's
turning
better
this
than
into
a
the
lot.
Dynamo show, boys, and you boys will be watching this.
Oh,
and go like,
Who fall
oh,
asleep?
man, I want to see this man. They're talking about me.
He's better than a lot of junior boys I've seen
Just
that
a
are
wee-
actively cutting a couple of quid.
A wee fella you mentioned there, through mutual friends earlier years, I've been in his company a few times, and what struck me was his enthusiasm, his love of the game, and what you go out again. And this wee guy McCullough, what kind of influence does he have up in?
Oh, boys love him.
Oh, aye.
But as I've seen, Bobby was my coach at Partick Thistle. And I
Coached
drank him.
some of the famous teams in Scotland, Bobby.
He was my coach at East Stirling. Bobby's a legend in the game.
In the game.
And he's one of the guys that comes and goes Cashmore, and know a lot of people in Cashmore.
Don't know.
It's just, it
he's so enthusiastic.
There must be a job, somebody's missing it.
I can't believe there is there. I can't believe it was doing nothing.
It's that voice, I think, turn round, you expect to see a guy at 7 foot.
It's true.
Do you know my main takes?
Frodo Baggins is standing there, know what I mean?
Mammy, if he takes you dog get a walk up the top of home buyer and he bumps into wee Bobby with a conduit doing sprints at 62 years of age. He's up doing wee shocks to keep himself fit. That's the enthusiasm he brings to the party anywhere. But he leaves us some night and he goes down and takes one of his other mates, his teams, to give him a wee bit of training. And he'll self-confessedly say, they maybe not be a great team, full of players with great ability, but he goes down with the same enthusiasm, trying to improve them and trying to give them.
He's a legend, a living legend.
But see, I've known him for years, and when I took the heart attack and all that, and obviously couldn't do things, he's put his shoulder to the wheel saying, well, I'll come up and at least train the boys. I don't want to take the team or be involved, but and the boys all love him.
The thing with coming on the now, I know we're coming to the end of the show coming up, but what's the plan? Obviously the hopes, what's the hopes for this season?
I think first of all, retain the league is mad. You know,
that's your bread and butter.
Retain the league, you know what I mean? I've never, even at any level I've played, this fellow stuff goes to semi-final, the Scottish Cup, and everybody, I mean, the more you go on about it, the more you go on about it, the more you go on about it, everybody's like, oh, fancies. Do you know what I mean? Football's the funniest game ever. All it takes a ball into the box, a deflection, a header, and you're out of the cup.
Second to score a goal.
Doesn't matter who you're playing against. So, I mean, retaining the league, you know, getting as far as we can in each cup competition, and obviously, we're not going to get through the season undefeated, we're going to get beat. Definitely going to get beat at some point.
I like that,
it just doesn't happen. It just doesn't happen. So, I mean, we've got a strong side, but I mean, we're playing well and good players, so I just think retain the league and just, you know, just as far as we can get in each cup. The old cliche, you know what I mean? How many cliches do you get?
I sometimes get it in the night off people because, without sounding blasé, I've won the league a number of occasions, or the wee cup, or it's got British Cup. There's better managers than me and better teams than us. Been trying for 30 years to win a Scottish Cup and never done it. So I'm never ever going to turn up any start of any season thing. This is your year. No.
Right around. We said it last year.
I think the last week I said today is that you can't take away what you've won and all that, but it's almost as if it never comes, you'll be remembered because of the good sides you've had. You'll be remembered for no winning it, rather than all the cups and tournaments you won.
It's like anything more you want something, the more anxious you get. So,
you don't believe this? I walked through the shops 10 minutes, walks into Pat McKinley the night. Blah blah blah, you see are doing well. No won that Scottish Cup yet.
That's a bug.
Just about talking about that.
Kiss of death.
Cheers,
and I went,
cheers, Pat.
Thanks for that, Biggie. But my first year, sure, we went right to a Scottish Cup final.
Right to final we got.
We went undefeated that year and we won.
Was it beat
No, that beat us 4-0.
Oh, okay,
Trounced us.
I got drafted, I got caught in a pub the night before with a swally in me, didn't I? Ray James, so I got drafted for it. But we were trying to bring a goalkeeper on, and James says to us, he put in a polite way, he went, I'm thinking about giving this boy a chance. And I was up.
Cup final.
Give my shot,
Cup final.
Give my shot, I didn't bother. So it was after that, but it's, I'm sure we've bored you enough about the Dynamo already, you know. We usually do a wee infill here where we talk about something that's relevant to youth teams and youth players out there working like anything at all. This week the topic is going to be drugs, but just by the way things go and the way the YouTube goes, we can only go to a certain limit, so we'll cut that off and we'll show you again for episode 5. Can only thank you all enough for tuning in. We're getting 800 odd views a week, so it means we're doing something right. Please feel free to share it. But what I will say is, if you go for that link down here somewhere, we'll be looking for videos. We keep getting occasional ones, and we seem to be getting them a lot for the Saturday teams and not so much for the Sundays. If you can get any, even 40s, anything at all, anything stupid, send it in, we'll make sure we can get it on there.
And remember, Opinions are like arseholes, every cunt's got one.
Hey, there you go. So again, thanks again for tuning in to Talking Baws, and keep tuning in. Next week you can be on yourself.
Anybody, and just that, anybody that does want on, just put an email into the league website, and
Or even on the even on the Facebook page of it.
and Alec will get back in touch with you. But it's been a good night. Thanks very much, boys.
Aye, thanks,
Cheers.
Sean. Thanks, Paul. Great. I'll see you again. All the best.